Welcome to episode 64 of Inside Deschutes County. Whether you're on the go, at home, or just looking for something new to listen to, thanks for making us a part of your day. Don't forget to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast app or stream every episode anytime at deschutes.org/podcast.
Deschutes County is an amazing place to live,
Ease of access.
work, and play.
Great place to raise a family.
I love the weather and the high desert.
At Deschutes County, we provide excellent service.
Beautiful.
We're here to help you.
Deschutes County is the heart of Oregon.
Everyone wants to be here.
Welcome to the Inside Deschutes County podcast. I'm Eric Breon. We're back after a bit of a holiday break. And with winter in full swing, or at least trying to get there, we thought it'd be a good time to talk a little emergency management. Today we're joined by Ben Duda from Deschutes County Emergency Management. Ben and his amazing team work with partners across the community to plan for emergencies, coordinate response, pretty much keep people informed when something crazy pops up. Ben, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Before we get into the world of preparedness, because there's a lot to cover there,
There is, yep.
you're pretty new to the county. Welcome.
Thank you.
Is
Yeah.
it 6 months, less?
A little under 6 months, 5 months, 5.5, yeah. August 21st.
Well, why did you take this job? You're just jonesing for trouble with emergencies and everything.
Exactly. No, it was a great opportunity that came open. I saw the team in Deschutes County that had been established. I've been in the county since 2004. I was previously a fire protection manager for Oregon Department of Forestry there in Sisters, Oregon. And so no stranger to emergencies in the county, and kind of topped out my career with ODF and in the region at least. And I really wanted to stay in the community. Got my kids in school here locally, and this opportunity came up to apply for the county and jumped at it. So,
Well, that seems like a good fit.
yeah, it was exciting.
ODF, a lot of emergency management, a lot of wildfire stuff.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little bit. Well, but we're not in wildfire season, so what the heck do you guys do?
No, we call it paperwork season to some extent.
Not that you're not working.
There's
We
plenty.
know.
There's mountains of paperwork. There's all the catch up from what happened over the summer, and then a lot of planning goes on. Right now, we're working on our natural hazard mitigation plan, renewing that. That's in every 4 years, and as well as looking at county emergency operations plans.
Well, you were telling me before we started that the winter storms kind of pose a bigger threat, possibly,
Yes,
than wildfires here
Yes.
in Deschutes County.
it absolutely.
Talk about that a little bit.
That was kind of interesting for me to switch gears, so out of just the wildfire brain into all the other calamities that can befall a community. And part of that natural hazard mitigation plan is pulling in cooperators and shareholders, or what's the term? The stakeholders in a problem and in the community, and we analyze kind of the threats to our way of life and things in the county, and at the end of that analysis, it was identified that winter storms are actually one of the bigger threats to the community, in that it affects everybody all at once. It affects all of our infrastructure. We saw it with the roofs that have collapsed in Snowmageddon. I believe that was 2017, and
Before my time, but
Yeah.
I've heard stories.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I mean, it impacts infrastructure, getting food and supplies and fuel here, and the entire county is affected all at once. Whereas a wildfire is certainly an active threat and a threat to our community, but it kind of pokes at you here and there.
I would think the impact on infrastructure, transportation and power and all those things, man, that if we get a doozy, that could be trouble.
Exactly, and when it affects the region like that, that affects our ability to help a smaller area in trouble that may be like Sisters or Lapine that's being affected by a wildfire. One area is affected; it's not the rest of the county can help. Versus winter storm, everybody gets hit.
So winter really hasn't arrived yet this
Yes.
year. I mean, does that affect
I blame
Does that help?
myself for buying a season pass to Hoodoo. For
Oh,
that.
there you go. Yeah, that'll jinx you every time. I mean, does that affect your planning and your preparation? Give you a little bit more time, maybe, or what's going on a little bit behind the scenes?
It does. There's no shortage of forecasters out there, both professional and unprofessional, as to what this level of snowpack is going to mean for us in terms of next summer, even, or what's our flood risk looking like. We did experience a minor flooding event in Sisters before the holidays with that atmospheric river. Fortunately, I guess that was the good thing about not having a lot of snow. It was not a rain on snow type event, but it was a very flash flood type event that nearly breached the banks of Wychus Creek there through Sisters we were monitoring. So kind of some of the stuff we keep tabs on through the winter and plan for.
Yeah, you were showing me some of the video of that. It was high.
It was high.
And I don't know if a lot of people know that there were some dangers.
Yeah.
When you think about winter hazards in Central Oregon, flooding the biggest, or the storm, or what is
More the winter storm, the snow.
the big storm? Okay.
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of areas at flood risk. We're fortunate to have some gradient, some slope to most of our streams, so they empty out pretty quick, and our ground's pretty porous. So the water moves on. There's not a lot of infrastructure, homes in those flood areas. So there's certainly a little bit of a risk. And years ago, I can't remember the year, but there's actually been some instances of ice breakup after some ice dams along in the old mill district type area where that's backed water up into homes or threatened to back water up.
Wow.
So it's
That'd be
not
trouble.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities, but it's not the top of our list. It's the amount of snow weight and shutting infrastructure down, lines on trees coming down on power lines and that sorts of things.
You called it paperwork season, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a little self-deprecating for your team, but the planning and preparation, I'm sure, what goes into that?
So much collaboration with
Is it with partners?
with internal, external partners, the whole works. We do a lot of work with county health services, particularly in the winter if we're looking at supporting cold weather shelters or making sure that needs are met there. Nonprofit groups, United Way, Neighbor Impact, multiple faith-based organizations we're coordinating with, and they're part of all of our plans that we're working on. Pet evacuation team, on and on. I could name so many partners during the flat fire this past summer. C4C out of Sisters helped rally together groups around the Sisters area. And it's been amazing to watch how the community comes together and continues to work together behind the scenes. So things go a little smoother when an incident happens. You don't want to meet these folks for the first time in the heat of the moment. Emotions are running a little high,
Right.
And that's not. I've met some great people in those instances, but it sure makes things go smoother and really helps the community out when those plans and relationships are built before an event happens.
It's probably a lot of that going on.
A lot of that going on right now. The other thing we're doing a lot of this season is working on kind of our educational aspects of the things we do. What's the public information piece? It's getting word out about signing up for Deschutes alerts and what all that means and how flexible that program is. And it's not just for wildfires, it's for winter storms. We used it to alert folks in the floodplain, the 100-year floodplain of Wychus Creek through Sisters, just as a heads up, just, hey, water's running high. I guess that's probably why the whole county didn't hear about it. It's a targeted announcement, that goes out through text and email. You can use that system as well if you have family members that may have critical needs or a business that you're concerned about. You can register multiple addresses with Deschutes alerts, and so staying informed of what's going on.
And I know your team would be mad at me if I didn't say the website,
Yes, please.
DeschutesAlerts.org.
That's correct.
For the sign up, and they'll help you too. If
100%.
you have trouble getting signed up or getting family members signed up or things. I know that there's several tests that go out to make sure that people with special needs.
Correct.
All those things to get the right alerts to the right people at the right times.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. I've inherited an amazing team. I feel like I'm the football coach trainee that gets put in the third quarter when we're up by 21 points to finish the game out. So I've really inherited an amazing team down there at the shop.
Are a lot of those alerts going out now? I know we haven't had much of a winter, but did alerts go out for that flooding in Sisters or?
Yeah, we do, and usually I think that might have been the first time we just put out an informational alert. We don't like to overuse it, right? When you get an alert from Deschutes Alert, it's going to mean something. It's not going to be spam texting, So generally we hesitated for the flood because we want it to be an evacuation notice. We want it to mean something when folks get that there's an immediate threat to safety and life potentially. So there is an annual test alert. Now there's that comes up in the spring that we usually will put out some press about, and so people know it's coming and that we get a lot of interest in that and set up call centers to provide more information or clean up kind of that database.
Is the immediate threat, is that kind of the bar that you set for when information is shared through the alert system and other means? Through
the alert system, yeah. That's correct.
I think a lot of people think about, when coming to or living here or coming here to visit, it's all about the mountains.
Yeah.
And, kind of playing in the snow. And I know you're not search and rescue, but you do a lot of work with them. Talk about that.
That's another amazing group of volunteers we have that and again, all volunteer, which really blows me away. And they run around 100 volunteers.
It's a lot.
And we just went through an application process. They're kind of I've never worked for an organization that actually has to interview for volunteers. Like we've got more people that want to help than we can handle, essentially. So it's really an amazing group that specialize in mountain rescue, rope rescue, swift water teams, the hiking. I'm always finding little niche things that they take care of. They came out to the flat fire and helped with the evacuation. They went door to door. They go through a basic fire safety class, and I believe, actually, I know that all of the homes in the level 3 areas all got door knocked before the fire got there. So between the deputies that were on duty that day and the search and rescue team, and they
that's
come in
with
that's a lot of people, and they came in with a communication van. They set up. They go door to door. They're keeping track of every place they checked and making sure everybody got notice. It was pretty amazing to watch.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Avalanches probably a concern. Yeah. All the, everything that goes with it. What is the coordination like with that team? Is it just education for folks, or, making sure that they're prepared when they go up the mountains? What kind of work do you do on that?
I think a lot of the weather, just the weather forecasting. Are we getting into that kind of season more or less? They're pretty self-ruling, I guess you will, or self-regulating. We work in the same office, so bouncing ideas off of each other. I haven't integrated too much with them. Here, month 5. You're
still learning names.
You're still learning.
Yeah.
I'm still learning names. I'm still looking at
your name tag on.
Kind of
It's Ben.
It's Ben. It's like, who's that guy in that office parking in my spot?
That's right.
And so no, we're learning more about each other and how we can help each other out. And it's such a great group and dynamic group that I'm looking forward to working with them more. They have ATV teams, dive rescue teams,
snowbulance.
It's snowbulance, yeah. It's their capacity is impressive.
In a low snow year, and I don't want to jinx us. I mean, knock on wood, I guess. I don't know. We want the snow for a lot of different reasons. But are there risks that show up for Central Oregon? I would imagine now that might ramp up wildfire concerns or drought or things like that. Is that top of mind?
It is, and it's also hopefully too early to tell. It's
Right.
like when I was a fire manager, I used to always, people would ask me, "Oh, what's the season going to be like?" And I'd say, "I'll tell you in October," because Mother
Well, we
Nature
could
in
still
East-
get snow until May. So
right, yeah. Mother Nature's finicky on the east of the Cascades, so there's definitely concern and possibility. All the possibilities are there.
Is this a time of year where it's kind of outreach season?
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Like outreach to schools, outreach to community groups. What do you do on that front?
Yeah, we just sending stuff. I start with the cooperators and the collaborate, all the, just like you said, the schools, pet evacuation team, and asking them what they need. We're plugging in with the Central Oregon Fire Prevention Co-op. That's a group that does a lot of outreach to the schools. Fire Busters is one of their programs, going to things like the Home and Garden Show, tabling events and providing information and people educating them on the levels of evacuation and how to prepare to be self-sufficient for 72 hours and kind of in family planning and that sort of thing. So every week, giving folks all the tools that we possibly can to be ready for that bad day.
Are people pretty receptive to that? Or are they like, this is no dust stuff?
That's kind of a mixed bag. I think we've had enough recent events in Central Oregon that I think we're better than some places. But even when I go to a home and garden show, for example, I have folks that walk by our fire defensible space booth when I had my fire hat on. It'd say things like, "Oh, I live in the city. I don't need to worry about that." And I've been to a few of those big city fires in California, most recently Palisades, and it went through a downtown area. It went through established neighborhoods.
Yeah, lots.
It applies.
Yeah. Yeah.
It applies.
Are there things? Is there one word of advice you'd give to people, like what to prepare for this time of year? I mean, is it a kit? Is it food, water, batteries?
I wish there was one,
But it's all different emergencies. So
it is. I wish there was one silver bullet out there that you could do this one thing and you'd be good to go. And it's really not. But that 72-hour kit, which involves a lot of things. It's food, it's water, it's having a plan, place to go, have an idea of where your medications and documents and the whole family knows the plan and kind of. I think that individual plan, the family plan, I think is probably maybe as close as you can get because it's all inclusive. That's going to help you for all emergencies, right? Whether the power lines get knocked, a tree goes into them from a winter storm, and you're out of power for 3 days. You're prepped for that. You get an evacuation notice for a wildfire, and you're prepped for that. That's kind of that. I think that's maybe the all risk, all inclusive answer.
Well, and everybody's, to your point, everybody's different, right?
Right.
Their situations are different. Their family living situations are different. That would be pretty.
Yeah, you have a plan
tough.
for your plans that hopefully your plans include your pets and any, if you have large animals, horses and goats and that creeps up on folks. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with 15 pigs.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one.
Yeah.
What's your take on travel readiness? Because I think that there's a lot, we think about, okay, a big storm, we might know it's coming. Travel readiness is kind of more short term. Are there things that you wish people kept in their cars? Obviously blankets and,
The first thing I wish people would do is evaluate whether or not they even actually need to go anywhere.
Yeah, good point.
Sometimes it's like, if I have the flexibility to give it a couple hours for the road to thaw out, we'll probably be okay. I mean, that bangs things up more than it's those fringy events. We had some black ice last week.
Yeah.
And people weren't ready for that. And, so maybe just a little better awareness of the weather conditions. But I think having some basics in your car are so critical. Having chains, having some traction devices, making sure they're good, and having some basic blankets and that sort of thing is always good. Making sure you got fuel in your car, keep it over a half or 3/4 of a tank, and especially if you're planning on going over the passes,
over the mountains. Yeah.
Don't have just enough to get to the valley. You don't know when you're going to get stuck up there.
Well, a personal story. One is I was going over the mountains once, and there was a car accident.
Yeah.
It wasn't my fault. I didn't get stuck. I didn't do anything, but I was stuck up there forever.
Yeah.
And, I'm like looking at my gas tank, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I filled up in Madras, So, I mean, seems simple, but yeah, you can get in some trouble in a hurry.
Absolutely.
Are there any newer tools or resources? I know we talked about Deschutes alerts, but what might people not know about that could help them in an emergency?
Deschutes alerts is great, and there's a lot of there's some third-party websites out there that have information, but it seems like they're not. I haven't found one yet that's all inclusive. There's some that focus on EMS, or you'll get structure fire information on it, but you're not going to get the wildfire information. And then there's other third-party sites that you're only going to get the wildfire announcements, and so I think having a variety is good, but always be checking the official sources.
Just kind of being in tune.
Yeah. Be aware of, it's a hot, windy day. If something happens today, it could be bad. I think there's some general awareness, National Weather Service alerts with the red flag warnings, red flag watches. I've got a great one for remembering the difference, too. I've talked to the meteorologist about this.
Tell me. Do tell.
You like this? You're going to like this. So a red flag, like a warning, whether it's a red flag warning, a winter storm warning, or anything, it's your 50% chance of something happening, and we have all the weather ingredients to make this thing happen. And it's 72 hours out or so. So we have all the ingredients to make tacos.
Okay. Tacos good. You got me.
And when you're having a warning, we're having tacos.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So if I were to walk into a team meeting with Ben Duda and team, what's at the top of the whiteboard right now in terms of what are you focusing on as you kind of carry this through winter and into spring and summer? What's your top priority right now?
Tacos, I said.
Well,
that.
tacos. Yeah, boy, that's my priority almost every week.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great question. Training. There's
training.
A lot of training. The shop is nonstop buzzing. We're training to improve ourselves. I'm getting up to speed. The emergency management world. There's and that outreach to collaborators is almost daily. We have daily contact with folks, but our team meetings are a lot about what's the threat today, what's the threat look like next week, kind of what's on the horizon, kind of starts there, and when you see that potential, we start going through our plans, and we've got our contact lists are updated. Who do we need to reach out to and find out more about this risk or this threat that may only have a 10% chance of happening, but we want to know it days in advance if we can. So we're looking at those potential weather shifts and things. So.
And I take it, Ben, you're just an adrenaline junkie. That's why you do this job.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
My wife thinks I'm crazy.
Yeah, well, I get it. Hey, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate the time and kind of sharing a behind-the-scenes look at winter preparedness, but also emergency planning year-round. It's always helpful to hear what's going on behind the scenes and how you carry that through, because there's always a threat, right?
Right.
Well, we really appreciate your time. My thanks again to Ben Duda with Deschutes County Emergency Management. Even in a light winter, the work of planning, preparing, and coordinating for emergencies matters for everyone who lives, works, and even plays in Central Oregon. If you'd like to learn more about local preparedness resources, emergency alerts, or how to get involved, visit the Deschutes County Sheriff's Office website and search Emergency Management. We want to thank you again for listening to Inside Deschutes County. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts or at deschutes.org/podcast. But until next time, please be safe out there.